Hey everybody, I'm here for Fashion Voice of YA Excerpt vlog, and today I'm going to be reading from Guardian of the Dead by Karen Healey, and it's out now in stores, so please go get a copy because I have to tell you, this is probably one of my, favoriteest debuts ever. It is on my list of, really, really, really good debuts. So, yeah. So definitely go and get a copy. So this is one of the best debuts I've ever read. So go get a copy. You'll love it. So I'm going to be reading from somewhere toward the beginning. So there really isn't a whole lot that you need to know about. So yeah, it takes place in New Zealand. I can tell you that. And then so and that's just one of the things that makes it so original and unique. I love it. So anyway, I'm going to get started. We were supposed to be meeting in the Student Union building. I was vaguely familiar with the university grounds. Mansfield students were allowed to use the library, which was much better stocked and stayed open later than ours. And the fastest way there would have been to turn south of the road and walk straight down the block to hit the Student Union parking lot. But I was enjoying the walk, and I still owed Kevin for dragging me into this. It would serve him right if he had to wait for me. I carried straight on into the university. Out of my school uniform, I could pass for a first-year student, I thought. Maybe even a second year. Studying commerce, maybe, or law, or forestry, or classics. Why not? In a daydream, even if it was useless for getting a job. A classics honors student, soberly occupied with the translation of Euripides that would make her famous and admired the world over. Caught up in the fantasy, I realized I was in danger of walking right through the campus. I dodged around two girls practicing Maori as they walked, turned southwest of the next path, and found myself in a strange spot I hadn't seen before. The ground had been shaped into a semicircular hill, an amphitheater really, sloping down to an outdoor concrete stage jutting out of the building behind it. The cherry trees that studded the top of the rise must have looked pretty in bloom, but now their black branches glinted sullenly in the heavy air, and the feet of other shortcutters had churned a straight line of muck through the grass, up and over the slope. I avoided that sodden path as I crested the hill, more out of fear that my worn sneakers might skid than out of fastidiousness. With a shiver of fear, I saw that the others had all vanished into school buildings or other paths. I was alone in the growing darkness when the red-haired woman walked out of the fog. I ducked my head nervously, but though she surveyed me from my sneakers to the collar of my coat, she didn't meet my eyes. I gained the impression that, my heavy body being of no interest, my face could hold nothing more, and flushed, half furious, half ashamed. Of her, I saw white skin, red hair, piled and pinned, and a tight, short-waisted jacket. As she came closer, her beauty struck me, almost physically, a weird, ageless beauty that lifted the hairs on the back of my neck. I felt like an alley cat bristling at the sudden appearance of a Siamese. I pulled my hands out of my coat pockets. She was almost as tall as I was, but her wrists were delicate, and the high sweep of her cheekbones almost painfully fragile. If it came to a fight, I could hit for her face and run. The rush of aggression subsided a little in the bloody horror of that image. My hands were in fists so tight that they squeezed my bitten down nails into my palms, and I forced them flat against my thighs. They stiffened there, blades of bone and sinew. But the gesture gained her attention. She tilted a glance at me as she passed, and I saw her eyes, undimmed by dusk and fog. They were strong and dark, like greenstone under water, but there was something wrong with them. It took me a long moment to realize that her face gave reason to my fears. The woman had no pupils. A shout stalled in my throat as she regarded me with that inhuman gaze for seconds. My heart stammered out in double time. My throat was too dry for words, too tight for air. I felt breath whistle harshly out through my nose in a straining tightness on my chest. Then she smiled slightly and stepped past me, precise and measured through the mud. I managed a sound that was more a whimper than a cry, and scrambled up the rest of the slope, bracing myself against a tree trunk before I dared to look after her. I half expected her to have vanished, but I could still make out the straight line of her back through the fog. When she did disappear, it was into one of the university buildings, via a door held open by one of a group of chattering boys. One of them brushed against her, and I saw her move with the impact before he made his cheerful apology. I was panting like a dog, breath coming in short, sharp puffs of chilly air. Head pounding, I leaned against the rough trunk and tried to put my thoughts back in order. She wasn't a ghost, just someone with weird contact lenses, a fetish for Victoriana, and bad manners. Any campus had its share of crazies who got their fun out of scaring the normal people. Hi, Ellie! Someone chirped behind me, and I screamed and whipped around, my hands ready to strike. Iris sang, stepped backwards hastily, her sleek fall of black hair swinging back and forth across her shoulders. She looked alarmed, as well she might, with a giant woman screaming at her. I leaned one hand against the tree and bent my head as the adrenaline subsided again, fighting the urge to pant some more. Oh my god, I'm sorry, oh god. So much for polished and composed. It's okay, are you alright? You're completely white. I've always been white, I cracked feebly, and straightened to give her my usual envious once-over. I knew that China Doll was racist, even just in my head, but I couldn't help thinking it. Iris had skin like fragile porcelain, dark eyes that tilted sweetly under a delicate fold of eyelid, and that gratuitously gorgeous hair. I was proud of my own hair, which was blonde and straight, and the only thing that was vaguely pretty about me, but Iris had me beat without even trying. And she was wearing boots, knee-high black ones that looked great with her gray skirt and white sweater. What happened? I frowned. Nothing. It's spooky, I guess. The fog. She nodded sympathetically. Well, come on in. We're in the lower common room tonight. Oh, did you hear? We found a new Titania. And I think I might just go ahead and stop there. Because there really isn't a whole lot of other stopping points. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And, yeah. Look out for, just keep an eye out for all the other great posts that are happening this week. Interviews of both Kay Cassidy and Karen Healey. Another excerpt blog with the Cinderella Society, and of course reviews of both books. So, yes. So you have your mission. Go out and get this book. And I will see you guys later.